Alana Banks, privacy is dead and social media holds the smoking gun. But wait, there's more. Also, social media is about sociology and psychology more than technology. By the
Ooh.
way, I know. These are quotes. These are witty quotes. The first one was from Pete Cashmore. He is the CEO of Mashable, big
Hmm.
media conglomerate. And the latter quote was from Brian Solis. And I don't know who he is, but he said that. And today we're addressing witty, perhaps controversial, but definitely notable quotes from various figures describing the current state of social media.
Yes, and I love that.
Boom.
Um, and I
Cold
know
open.
the
Done.
listeners like that too, because
They love
our
it.
our second most popular episode is funny motivational quotes. So here's
Yeah,
some
and
more.
some of these are funny.
Yeah.
Most of them are funny.
Yeah.
You know what?
Well, we'll be the judge of that, Ryan.
Maybe they're all funny. I
Maybe.
don't I don't know. Although I seem to recall we did an episode which was a list of funny things. Maybe it was the funny quotes. And a lot of them, I believe, I thought were not funny.
Yeah, that's the one. Funny
Like
motivational quotes.
they were so not funny that it was almost comical that anybody would have put them on a list of funny things. Now that yeah, it's all rushing back to me now and remembering it. They were like distinctly not funny.
Hmm.
Many of them. Some of them
Yeah.
were okay.
So hopefully this list is better
This list is
or
better.
more funny,
This
funnier.
list is better. This list is better because it's not trying to be funny. It's trying to be witty,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so it ends up being funny.
Hmm.
Okay, let's get through as many as we can and then let's stop recording and end the episode.
Okay, I like it.
Just like every other podcast, right?
Yeah. But
Yeah,
before we do that, let's talk a little bit about what we've got going on right now.
that's right. I just made myself a cappuccino, which is different, ladies and gentlemen and listeners, because usually I have a latte
Mhm.
at this time, and today I'm having a cappuccino. That's what I've got going on. Atlanta Banks, what do you guys going on?
Well, I'm drinking water because I
Water
don't have a
cocktail.
fancy cappuccino maker where I am right now, unfortunately.
Well,
But what I have going on, I've got a lot going on. I'm reading poems like crazy. So if you
people
want
are
to
just
book a
kicking
poem reading
down the
with
door,
me, what's
kicking
that?
down the door and sticking their palm in your face. Every day, Alana is just like, "Ah, you can never believe this poem I saw the other day. It was glorious." And you had two poems at the same time recently, I heard.
Yeah. Yeah. I did a couple, was my first time reading a couple for their second wedding anniversary. It was so cool, which gave me another idea to, offer couples poem readings.
Yeah.
Um, so if that's something that you're into, send me a message on Instagram at Alana Banks Coaching and I'll book you in.
Yeah. You know what
Um,
I'm picturing now?
what?
I'm picturing like, some really high end football team in like Europe flying you out and they got like all the players lined up on the field. These guys make like $1 million per game or €1 million per game. And the coach is like, all right, boys, like stick out your palms. And then you could like read the whole team's palms. And then
Ooh,
you're
I
like,
love
all
it.
right, like this guy, you're not the goaltender anymore. Now you're like offensive, right? You're forward. And you're like, you know, you're not the captain anymore. This guy's the captain because this is what the palms tell me. And then they go and
They win the
they
Super
win
Bowl.
well, I'm thinking like European football, which
Oh, okay, soccer. Got it.
and
Oh, they
then
win the World Cup. And then all of a sudden, I'm this like international palm reading sensation for all the sports teams.
that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Yeah. It all started right here, folks.
it did. You'll
Yeah.
remember. You'll be like, "Oh, I used to listen to this podcast called No Excuses."
Yeah. And then all of a sudden there was a lot of talk about hands and palms.
Well, maybe No Excuses will become like a palm reading podcast or
Yeah.
something.
the No Excuses palm reading podcast. Season 3 or 4 or whatever it
Or
is next.
yeah,
Yeah. All right. Anyways,
who
so you're
knows?
reading palms.
I'm reading palms. I'm also taking on, I just actually signed someone on for my Life Amplifier program for the fall. So if you're wanting to dive into your own personal psyche, really, clear some limiting beliefs out, clear some baggage that you're carrying around with you, also send me a message because I have a program called Life Amplifier and you can read all about it at alanabanks.com.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm teaching social media to hypnotists, hypnotherapists, NLP practitioners, and coaches. RyanMontes.com. Check it out. Got the Simple Social Sanctuary, and it's people are loving it. People are loving it. I just put out a call for video testimonials in the group on a totally volunteer basis, and the response, like, they're blowing up. I have more testimonials than I have time to even post. So
That's
anyways,
awesome.
yeah, and I'm very grateful for them. If you're somebody who's listening and you're one of those people that sent me a testimonial,
Mm-hmm.
thank you. And I will get around to posting all of them eventually, but I have a kind of a lot in the queue now.
That's great.
Very, very grateful to say.
Mm-hmm. Social proof. There it is, happening
Boom,
in real time.
boom, prestige, credibility.
Yeah.
Boom.
All right. So should we go jump into this list? Have
Yeah,
some laughs.
I gave two of the quotes up front. Number 29 on the list from Unknown is loneliness is being inactive on social media. Loneliness
Hmm.
is being in it. A lot of people not going to like that one. I'll tell you that much. A
Yeah.
lot of people not going to like that one. But hey, it's on the list. We don't have
Yeah.
to. We don't have to
No, we
deconstruct all.
don't. I just am like, I have to like actually look at it with my own eyes. There we go. Loneliness is being inactive on social media. Yeah, I believe that. I mean, not witty.
For some, this one is a polarizer
Mm-hmm.
because some people would say loneliness is being active on social media.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Right? There's a very, there's a pretty wide anti-social media crowd. Although this is the No Excuses coaching podcast social media season, so maybe they're not in our audience. But anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, cool, whatever. All right,
Yeah. I like the
what's
next one. After spending hours creating a very beautiful and inspiring post, why is it that that single typo error is the only thing that gets all the attention? Has that ever happened to you before where you've like created like a carousel and you have a typo and then everyone is just like needs to correct you on that one typo?
no? That's never happened.
It's never
When I
happened to you. It's
no, do
never
people?
happened to me either. But I feel like there are people out there and I read the comments and it's probably like a great carousel, but all the comments are just about the typo.
Like, I have made carousels and posts and stuff and had like one little typo in there, or even one typo like right on the in the headline on the slide, on the first slide, which of course is frustrating as the content creator.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't recall anyone ever going in my comments and being like, "Oh, you got a typo there," unless they're like making some little joke or something, like they're saying actually something clever. But somebody just straight up trying to correct my grammar in the
Mm-hmm.
comments, no, I
Never
can't recall
happened. Well,
that
that's good.
ever happening. But hey, if people are doing that, stop. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've observed it. I've never experienced it personally, but um definitely seen it pop up in the comments with people I follow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, oh,
Cool.
I like this one. I'm not sure if this is witty. This is Seth Godin. Build it and they will come only works in the movies. Social media is a build it, nurture it, engage them, and they may come and stay.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good
Not
point.
witty,
A lot of
but
people really do believe that it's like build it and they will come, and they make great content and they're like, well, why? And then they get discouraged. Why aren't people engaging? Why aren't they turning into clients?
yeah.
Takes a couple more steps sometimes, or just a little more time to grow. right?
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like that is a limiting belief of some people who don't really know that much about social media. Um, because back several years ago now, I was helping people with their social media, kind of coaching them. This was before my coaching days, but I remember having a client and she was terrified of putting anything on social media because she thought that in the minute she created a profile and started posting, that she would have like hundreds of people rushing to her and like messaging her and wanting her product. And she wasn't prepared for that or ready. And I remember just being like, that's not going to happen. Like you can literally create your profile and put up a post and no one is going to even notice it.
Yeah.
But it was a lot to shift her mind to believe that that wasn't going to happen. So if
Yeah.
anyone out there is listening and has that worry, don't worry about that. Don't
Yeah.
let that be the thing that's preventing you from building.
Cool. Let's go all the way to the end of the list. Number 41. By the way, this list published by tosaylib.com, whatever that is. I don't know, but credit to them for this list. Number 41. Social media is a way of taking yourself away from your life by messing with other people's lives. Yeah. For some, yeah. I guess if you're some kind of troll or, you know.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
if you're using social media just to like be a bully.
Some people do that though. Some people like most of what they do on social media is just like arguing, looking for arguments and trying to like force their values onto other people. And
Yeah.
cool. That's not my jam.
Yeah, no,
Like,
don't
that's
do
not what
that.
I'm into. Yeah.
No.
That's not, I think that's not what social media really is about. If somebody has that perception, that's because that's something that exists inside of them, probably to
Yeah,
some degree.
they need life amplifier.
Need life amplifier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is witty. This one I like. Studies have shown that losing the password to your social media accounts greatly reduces longevity.
Losing the password to your social medias reduces longevity.
Mm-hmm.
So the frustration of not knowing the password for your social media accounts shortens your life, is what they're saying.
Yeah, just that the frustration of having all these passwords and login information and like that I'm one of those people, okay,
Yeah.
where I don't save it, I don't write it down, and then all of a sudden I have to log in for whatever reason. I don't know what the password is because I don't use the same password for everything, like I'm not organized that way.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Okay.
I've
Cool.
definitely gained some gray hairs or ripped hairs out because of this
Because
point.
of this, eh? Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
guess I don't know. I guess like I'm not a social media veteran. The devotees of the podcast will know I've only been on social media really in a serious way since like 2019, which is not a
Mm-hmm.
long time. But I am a computer veteran. I have been using computers and passwords and logins since very early in my life. So not that I'm bragging. It's not something to brag about, but I got this password thing mostly figured out.
Yeah. Well, I feel like some people have a strategy for the whole password thing, and I don't. I'm just
Yeah.
like how many well, I'm just thinking of my son, my youngest son. He's got like 4 or 5 Gmail accounts because he keeps creating them and can't remember the password and doesn't tell anybody. So they're just like
That's rough. I think you can go to jail for that. Okay.
um
Well, let's see here. Number 38. When you tweet a comment on societal issues, you get 15 likes. You post a comment about Beliebers, you get
believers. That's people who
Beliebers,
like Justin
Justin
Bieber.
Bieber fans.
Yeah.
Oh, Beliebers, you get 96,000 likes. Yeah, okay.
I don't did we look at when this list was created?
I mean, yeah, even if the list is a little outdated, I get the point that the author of that so-called witty quote is trying to make. It's like, oh, you talk about something important and everyone ignores you. You talk about some pop culture nonsense and everyone
Yeah.
pays attention. Hey, guess what, folks? That's not news and it's not unique to social media. Go to the
Yeah.
library and ask how many times Moby Dick has been signed out in the last year versus how many times like Lindsay Lohan's book has been signed out in the last year or whatever. Or like, let's say 30 years ago, how many copies of Cosmopolitan magazine were sold versus, The Economist or whatever, right? Like people
Yeah.
like fun, easy to consume content. It's human nature. It's not exclusive to social media. I can get off my soapbox, but people try to put all this like stuff on social media, and a lot of what people complain about is it's human nature. It's not really
Hmm.
social
Yeah.
media.
Like I think that's the code you have to crack, right? Which is kind of the whole backbone of this simple social sanctuary, right? It's like keep it simple and fun. And then you will create a community that is engaged and interested in what you have to say. It's not rocket science, right? If you can keep it simple, then people will listen. It's when we start complicating it and making it like boring to read, then people kind of check out.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, like you have to think about the way you consume content as well, right? Like, are you sitting there reading like 2,000 word posts or are you flipping through like funny cat videos?
Yeah.
I know what one I'm doing, and it's not the first one.
Okay, this one's good. This one's good. Number 7 by Matt Cuts. It says, when you've got 5 minutes to fill, Twitter is a great way to fill 35 minutes. I would swap out in 2023, I would swap out the Twitter with TikTok.
Yeah.
When you got 5 minutes to kill or fill, as the quote says, TikTok is a great way to fill 35 minutes. Have you ever done that? Where it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it's just like, okay, I got a couple of minutes. Let me see what's going on TikTok. And then it's just like, having fun. You're watching stuff, maybe having some laughs, and a lot more time goes by. For
Yeah.
me, like sometimes for me that'll happen on YouTube also, which by the way is a social media network.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize. So that's a good quote from Matt Cutts. Who are these people? Who's Matt Cutts? Let's check him out.
Yeah.
Let me run a quick background check. Matthew Cutts, age 50 or 51. That's interesting. He's known for Safe Search, Google's family filter, and he's on the web spam team. So I guess he's a programmer that works for Google. Okay. Wikipedia has a photo of him, so he must be somewhat well known.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, he's an American software engineer, former administrator of the US Digital Service.
Mm.
I bet this guy wrote his own Wikipedia page.
Yeah. Or someone at Google wrote it.
Who else would have put this up? And like the reference, his whole Wikipedia page is like 4 paragraphs, and there's 23 references cited. All right. Anyways, cool, Matt Cutts.
I like
Good.
number 5. And this is McDonald's who says this. Our head of social media is the customer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it. You know why? Because this speaks to the fact that they listen, right, to their audience, and they aren't creating content that they want to be creating personally as McDonald's. They're creating content that they know their customer is going to like and care about.
Yeah. I get the point of the quote. Yeah. Our head of social media is the customer. Yeah.
Like, not witty, but I think, a nice reminder.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Sure. Whatever. Boring.
Mm-hmm. This is kind of the boring quotes about social media.
Is it? Boring
A little
quotes?
bit. Like, none of these have made me really laugh, or none of them I think are very witty. I think this the title of this list is false.
Here's a quote from an alternative source. My social media strategy is to post funny memes and then disappear for days. Works like a charm. That's kind of a funny quote about social media. A lot of people do that.
Mm-hmm.
Not good for sales, but if you're just a casual person just having fun,
Yeah.
right?
I'm curious though. maybe I've asked you this question before. Like, if you didn't have your coaching business or like you didn't have a business that required you to be on social media, would you be on it just for fun? Do you think?
Um, I don't know. I really don't know. I really didn't get into it until I started the business as a matter of necessity, and now I really enjoy social media. So I don't know. Like if I knew what I know now about how much you can, network and meet people and get information and all the cool stuff you can do on social media, if I knew that, certainly I would have a strong social media presence, even had I not gone down the business path that I did.
Yeah.
But if I didn't know that, I don't know. I don't know. It'd be tough to say. I might be one of those salty anti-social media people.
Or you don't even have to be salty, just not interested.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do know what you mean. I don't know. Life would
Mm-hmm.
be different.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because I was on the weekend, I was hanging out with one of my girlfriends and I met her when I was working in PR. And she's home right now from the UK. And she was just like, "Oh, you and all this Instagram stuff." Like, she kind of makes fun of me all the time because she's like, "Oh, the Lana, the queen of Instagram." And she's like, not on any social media at all. Like, she just doesn't have time for it. And I always think, I'm always like, whenever I'm hanging out with her, I'm always thinking, I wonder if I wouldn't be on social media if it wasn't such a big part of my business. Like for her, it doesn't matter for her work because she doesn't have that type of a job.
Yeah.
But it always kind of makes me think like maybe I wouldn't be on it. I have no idea. Anyway,
Yeah.
what else is on here? How many more should we do? What time is it?
Let's do like two more, one more each.
Oh, this one. You'll like this one. You can either allow social media to be helpful for you or it can be harmful. I like to let it be helpful.
Yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Mm-hmm.
Wholeheartedly. Definitely that's true. There's an infinite number of things on social media, and you can choose to consume the things that are going to improve your quality of life and bring you joy, or you can choose to go down dark paths and pick fights and put yourself in position to be irritated. The choice is yours. Free will.
It is.
Free will shall prevail. Yeah, that's a good quote. It's a good quote. I agree. All right. Let's see. Never get into an argument with a person on Instagram. Trust me, the one with the most followers will always win. Oh, that's kind of witty. There's some merit. There's some merit to that.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, there's a lot of reasons not to get in arguments with people on the internet. But if you get into a public argument with somebody on the internet and like all kinds of people start weighing in and there's all kinds of tactics that people use when they want to prove that they're right and someone else is wrong, it's just usually not a good situation for anybody.
Yeah. And oftentimes too, the person, like, how they're saying the person with the biggest number of followers will always win. That's going to also show you if your community is really engaged. Because often what happens is like your community will start sticking up for you. Right. So if like someone comes in and starts trolling or trash talking or, making negative comments, it's a good sign when your followers pipe up before you even have a chance to.
Yeah.
Right. Because then there's a word for that. And I can't remember what it is, but like that's kind of where you want to get to with your social media community is where they're starting to like advocate for you within your own community and like kind of almost selling for you without you even asking.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a word for that. And that's something that Chris and Timothy talk about sometimes.
Yeah.
In the Pictos community there. Because they have that like 8 or 9 step client journey, and one of the steps is where your clients are like without you asking them to, like sending you referrals and talking about you in public. And
Yeah. I think it's
can't
like
remember the name of the stuff.
evangelizing or evangelical or something like that.
Yeah, it could be something like that. I don't think that's the word, but I think it's something like that. I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's good, right? Like, because
It
if
is
you make
good.
a post and you're not around, and somebody puts some inaccurate information about you on it, and you have your clients, your followers jumping in and defending you, that's a really good place to
That's a
be
good
at.
sign. Hmm.
You've done something right, if that's the case. And vice versa. Like, if you're a client and you're very satisfied with somebody's service, and you have the opportunity to stand up and advocate on their behalf, it's a nice thing to do, because at the end of
Yeah.
the day, we're all human beings. And I can tell you, as a business owner, it is lonely at the top. It's not an easy thing to be a public figure and an online persona, and to have the people that you serve looking out for you every now and then. That's you know there's no replacement for that.
Yeah. I agree. Um, so you know how I just downloaded the new version of Zoom,
The current version of Zoom, yes.
the current version.
Yeah.
So I just clicked on the music app because I was thinking, oh, are there like sound effects? Because I feel like this next one, which can be the final, deserves a ching. What what is that? Like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like, yeah, I gotcha.
but
Can
it's
you do
just
that?
songs, so I won't
Oh,
be I won't maybe in post I can put a little like sound effect in here, but
yeah.
number 28 to wrap up this list. If we could simply solve our personal issues rather than posting them, Facebook would be empty. But ching.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, if we could just solve our personal issues rather than posting them, Facebook would be empty.
For some
Face,
people.
Facebook would be different. I don't know if it would be empty. Like,
Yeah,
again,
maybe
it
it would.
depends. I don't know. Is there somebody who can say, like, honestly, 100% of the stuff that's in their Facebook feed is people presenting their problems for resolution? Okay.
Maybe back in 2018 when this list was created.
Oh, yeah, maybe. 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 Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a bit of a relic. Okay. Whatever.
Mhm.
Social media.
Yay.
Witty quotes. Cool.
Let
There you
us know
go.
what you think about these quotes.
They are pretty thought provoking, though. Like, every quote that we've mentioned does represent somebody's opinion, and probably a lot of people's opinion. And I think the big takeaway is, like, there's such a range of how people perceive social media, right? So
Yeah.
how do you perceive social media, audience? Is it an obligation that you just have to be here because you have a business and you want to be on social media? Do you actually get real value from it? I know I definitely do. Yeah, curious to hear from our audience. I'm actually much more interested in their opinion than in all the people we mentioned today, even Matt Cutts.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what? That just gave me an idea.
All due respect to Matt Cutts.
Yeah. This just gave me an idea. Maybe we do a reaction episode to our listeners' opinions of social media.
Yeah. Oh, that would be cool.
That would be fun, wouldn't it? I
Yeah,
would love that.
that'd be interesting. Yeah.
I feel like we put these things out there and then we hear nothing. so,
Uh,
so maybe this time we're going to hear some.
I don't know. I get the odd message here or there from people, but no. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Well, we did get a few new followers, which I was excited about because
Yeah.
we were sitting at 188 for like a really long time. And now I think, let me check. We're at 192 since
Nice.
last week. So that's exciting. Keep following us at It's the No Excuses podcast.
Yeah. Do it. Cool.
All right. Okay,
All right.
so that's it.
That's it. So
The
for this
list
one.
of witty social media comments. or quotes.
Have a great everything, everyone.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye.